Hi everyone, my name's Dustin, and thanks for joining my channel again. Um, I'm here to really talk about and live my diabetic life with you guys. And so I'm walking. Probably some people behind me are walking, and I'm sorry about all the shaky video. I don't have one of those nice gimbals yet, but I will get on track with getting that. Um, so let me tell you about my routine. It's February, and I was recently diagnosed as diabetic on adult onset type 2 back in June of last year. It's February 2021 right now. And I'm in Washington State, somewhere up in the Pacific Northwest corner. And the snow has fallen last weekend. It is currently Wednesday. I think snow has fallen on Friday and Saturday and Sunday. And just recently, even though I'm in Washington State, some of my family's in Texas, and they got hit really hard. And so shout out to them, mom, dad, and they're used to the cold, but I don't think they're used to it down in Texas. So you can see behind me probably the snow still in the fields, and yeah, so that's what's going on. I'm trying to keep walking and talk at the same time, so I apologize. Okay. So, sorry about the haircut. Sorry about the little trim video. I'm still learning how to video edit. I'm really new to this stuff, and I got into it and was inspired by a young lady named Chantel, and she runs a YouTube channel, and I will hopefully be able to leave that link in the description for you guys. She is a van lifer, and I have been into van life, tiny homes, for the last, 5-6 years, and I've been thinking about this, thinking about that, and just trying to get my life together. And believe me, I am no video editor. I am not a vlogger. I am not that type of person, but I am very creative. I do art, and I do lots of music, things like that. Very artistic, so hopefully this will be right up my alley. I thought I'd share some of my life this way. As far as diabetes, I do have a story, and I'd love to tell that too. So I am going to wait until the next couple minutes, and then I'll get back into my place, and I will stop this shaky video and tell you my story. Okay. See you then. Hi everyone. Sorry about the shaking and the walking and everything like that, but I'm back. I know it's only been a second for you, but I'm back. I made it in the house. So this is my place. Welcome. And let me tell you a little bit about my story. I'm going to settle in here. So get ready. So like I said before, I was diagnosed in June or July of last year. I can't remember exactly. I do remember that the events that were leading up to me being diagnosed and and everything like that. But I'm going to tell you my story, and you'll kind of realize along the way why I can't exactly remember. Um, I'm going to go back a little bit further than that. At the beginning of 2020, I was, right around February or the end of January. Um, the president of the United States at that time, Donald Trump, was saying that there was, the news was reporting that there was, this pandemic was going to hit, and Donald Trump was saying, "Oh no, this isn't going to happen." Um, that it would be like the flu, it would go away and that kind of thing, and so people were getting scared. Um, my work at the time was uh, doing major renovations and reconstruction and all that stuff, and renovating of their own workspace. So then it came down to making fiscal cutbacks and stuff like that, and I happen to be one of the like first or second wave of cutbacks that had happened during the time of that. And so from about April and at that point till about June, is when I was furloughed from work, and they let me go with a stipulation that I could be called back at any time, and they gave me a um, some sort of compensation for that, like a kind of like a furlough package of some sort. And of course, I never got called back. In fact, my boss actually called me back um, to tell me that they were eliminating my position. So I was on unemployment from April until June or July of 2020. Excuse me, all the way up until September. I apologize. From April till September. So um, I was surviving on unemployment, and I was, of course, looking for jobs and stuff like that, and nobody was hiring up here in Washington State. I don't know about the rest of the United States, but for Washington State people, we were just like, everybody was in a panic, and every day was day to day, and then you kind of get used to that routine, and then realize that after a while it's like, okay, this isn't going to change, this is going to be like the routine, and it still has, and more or less been that way. It's now February 2021. So about all of I don't know, all of June, I would say, of last year, I got really, really, really sick, and I just was, that couch behind me, I was sleeping on that couch. I barely, and it was hot. It was just summertime. I barely had any clothes on. Slept every day. I started going to the bathroom every 2 hours and just urinating, getting up, drinking half a gallon of milk, and or any sweet water that I had in the house, and then I go right back to sleep and wake up and do it all over again, every 2 hours. Um, and that lasted for a while. I was just crazy. And then I remember getting the hiccups. I would try to force myself to stay awake. I was sleeping most of the day, but I was trying to force myself to stay up. So I would force myself to stay up, and I started getting hiccups, and then the hiccups turned into um, they were lasting constantly, and then the hiccups turned into what turned out to be seizures. I couldn't. I was stuttering. Hiccups turned into stuttering, and so I called my dad up one day, and I said, did I get dropped on my head when I was a baby? Like, what's going on? Why can't I? Like, I'm stuttering. I can't complete a thought. The word, like trying to complete a question, was out of my mind. I couldn't answer, or when somebody would ask me a question, I couldn't answer it. I would start, and I would stutter, and I'd just go and then So what happened was, one day I got on the phone with my best friend at the time, and I said, why am I doing this? And I went through a stuttering attack, and I couldn't answer her questions, and I was making these weird sounds like la 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 la, la, that kind of weird sound on the phone to her, because I couldn't catch my words. I couldn't, and I was doing it for like minutes at a time, and so I said, and so then I went to sleep that night, and I woke up the next day, and I couldn't breathe. My tongue was getting stuck in my throat. I couldn't breathe. So I ran to the bathroom. Is what I do when I do get sick. I go to the bathroom. I just took a shower, and immediately I tried to get hot water on my body. I don't know why, but that was just my response. And that night, I could not breathe. I could not physically breathe. So that night, I flipped out, called my best friend, and was like, what do I do? And she's like, oh, it's nothing, relax, calm down. I was having this panic attack, and then I had another seizure on the phone, what turned out to be a seizure on the phone with her, where I was stuttering, I was making that weird sound, and she's like, I think you need to go to the hospital. So I called my ex-wife, and I was afraid to drive, so I called her up. I was like, please take me to the hospital. And first she was like, no way, it's 10:30 at night, what are you talking about? My ex-wife and I have a child together, and she was like, our child is sleeping right now. And I was like, what do you want me to do? I was screaming on her at her on the phone, what do you want me to do? And instead of like calling an Uber or a taxi or something like that, I just hung up on her, and I was just like really scared. So she called me back right away. She's like, I'm coming to get you. So she took me to the hospital. When we got to the hospital, I had another attack. They immediately rushed me into the ER. I'm not ER, but emergency room, and back into this little place. And they were trying to assess me, and they were poking me with needles, taking blood and whatever. And then they let me sit there for a couple of minutes, like 15 or 20 minutes. And the nurse comes back in and goes, oh, you're hypoglycemic. And I was like, I don't know what that means. And he's like, well, I can show you. And he showed me this vial of blood that they had taken. And all I remember is seeing that most of it was yellow. Well, I figure, plasma in the blood turns yellow, whatever. But there's a chemical in those little vials that reacts with your blood. And I assume he saw what was, a reaction to my blood sugars and all that. So then I was having seizures, and doctors were coming in and asking me questions. I was having seizures, couldn't answer them. They're like, it's okay, we're gonna take care of you, we're gonna find out what's going on, that kind of thing. And slowly I'm, trying to ease into this. And I'm not the kind of person to take, needles very well, but I must have had 20-30 needles that night. Come to find out, doctor comes in and says, have you ever been diagnosed as being diabetic? I was like, no. He's like, well, congratulations, And that's how it started for me. That was my experience. So I spent 2 days in a hospital, and at that point, it was definitely for sure I was diabetic. And then they, I went through 4 or 5 different things for the seizures and stuff like that. Turned out my cholesterol was through the roof. I was just eating potato chips and whatever, and so we all have 2 different types of cholesterol, and one of the types was, had measured on their scale at 8,000. The other type couldn't be measured. It was off the scale. It was off the charts. Plus the fact that my blood sugar level was at like 590 or something when they tested it. So all that was leading me to have these what the doctors called seizures, or pseudo seizures, and the stress that I was putting my body through with every day of not working and worrying about money and that kind of thing just led to all of this. And I was lucky I didn't die, which is where I was probably headed at that point. That's when the doctor at the hospital said, okay, you need to go through these things, and we're gonna set you up with a bunch of appointments and blah blah blah. And so here I am today, tested it before, and it's been as low as 123, 125, 126, those numbers, which is really good. You're talking when you below 130, in between 80 and 130. So that's, so that's when I saw my doctor. He was up there with diabetes, let's cross our fingers, with diet and exercise. I'm 49 years old. I usually walk 10,000 steps a day. That includes the activities I do. So that's my story for now. And being right, my secret, there's no really secret. What I'm doing is I'm eating a lot of vegetables, like a rabbit, and portion control. Portion control is key. You don't want to eat anything bigger than the size of the palm. So meat, vegetable, any kind of protein you're gonna have the size of your palm. That's about it. And then exercise. So diet, portion control, exercise. Of course, no sugar. And nowadays, they have so many sugar substitutes, that I don't understand why they just don't take sugar off the market. There's so much stuff out there nowadays for sugar related alternatives that you could never tell the difference, ever. You might tell the difference in flavor in, say, flavor in soda pop or something like that, but I challenge you to take Coke Zero or Sprite Zero, and then take a taste test of the original. So Coke and then Coke Zero. I challenge you to tell me that there's a taste difference. There's no taste difference, especially with the Sprite Zero. I think it's a matter of will. I think it's a matter of, doing the right things and keeping that momentum going. There's other people out there that I know personally that have just been stubborn. They've been stubborn. Instead of drinking diet or no sugar substitute, they keep drinking Mountain Dew. They keep drinking Coke. They keep drinking Pepsi, because they are the opinion that they're not going to let the finer things in life elude them, just because they were diagnosed. And I think that's a really ignorant way, and that's just my opinion. That's a really ignorant way of thinking. If you know that you are diagnosed as that, and you choose not to do the right decisions, make the right decisions, eat the right way, and exercise and stuff like that, then you're choosing to kill yourself, and that's a selfish thing. That's my opinion. It has nothing to do with anybody else out there in the rest of the world, but that's my opinion. And I don't look down on anybody else who's doing that. I just wish you better. I wish that you would make better choices. And if I can change your mind about that and show you, that's what I want to do. And if you are going to allow me to do that and be in your life, thank you. So that's what I'm here for. Good motivation. Okay? And that's what my vlogs are going to be about. Mostly, I'm into super different things, as you can see in the background. I'm an artist, and I can do things. I can draw, and I like to travel, so I want to do those things. So join me, won't you? And let's get this going. All right. We'll talk to you in the next vlog. Bye.